spiritual walk. My name is Steve Van Einstein. Thank y'all for joining me today as we go through and we do today's daily reading from James Allen's Daily Meditations. We're going to be looking at June 28th reading today, and let's see how he decides to round out June here. And it's been a very powerful month, so I'm looking forward to seeing how it ends, that's for sure. So, this will be fresh to you and fresh to me, meaning this will be my first time hearing it or reading it right here on the podcast with y'all. So you'll get my genuine response, reactions, observations, and what I relate to about the reading. So here we go. This is June 28th reading of James Allen's Daily Meditation. The silent calm people will manifest a more enduring form of success than those who are noisy and restless. When a man exchanges coppers for silver and silver for gold, he does not thereby give up the use of money. He exchanges a heavy mass for one that is lighter and smaller but more valuable. So when a man exchanges hurry for deliberation, he merely exchanges less ineffective energy for a more highly concentrated effective form. Yet, even the crudest forms of effort are necessary at first. For without them to begin with, the higher forms could not be acquired. The child must crawl before it can walk. It must babble before it can talk. It must talk before it can compose. The man begins in weakness and ends in strength. But from beginning to end, he advances by the efforts he makes, by the exertion he puts forth. The root of success is in character. That's another truthful one. And I like this one a lot because it talks about how we have to start, right? And how we grow and how we evolve along the path. We don't start, we don't come into this practice or this life or this endeavor perfect. We don't come into it knowing how to behave. We don't come into knowing how to appropriately use certain energies, right? I remember in my 12-step community I'm a part of, I was talking to somebody about anxiety, nervousness, and he says I like to call it excitement. And it was a powerful lesson for me because it reframed it, right? Because it was very similar. It was very, very similar energy. So similar that a change in perspective can actually free you from it. It can actually help you handle it, walk through it. So it was a honing of the energies I possessed. It was a learning and an understanding of them. So here we go. Let's go through this again. The silent, calm people will manifest a more enduring form of success than those who are noisy and restless. So it will be a more enduring, a more long-lasting form of success we get, he says here, right? And I believe that to be true because when it's hurriedly grabbed at and restlessly achieved, rushed, we talked about that yesterday. I believe it was yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, to be honest with you, but that's quickly gone, right? Because that's made out of managing things. That's made out of attempting to hold on to things. And it doesn't work that way. When we strive for it and we walk in peace and silence and calm to get to where we got to go, it's a much different thing. A much, much different thing. All right, down to the main body of this. When a man exchanges coppers for silver and silver for gold, he does not thereby give up the use of money. He exchanges a heavy mass for one that is lighter and smaller, but more valuable. So when a man exchanges hurry for deliberation, he merely exchanges less ineffective energy for a more highly concentrated, effective form. Now, that is awesome, isn't that? It's a refinement process. Did they say it there? It's a refinement process. It's a honing. It's a sharpening. It's a correct understanding and placement of the energy that is possessed within you. Misallocated energy comes out in negative, unproductive ways, right? So when we take that same thing, he uses the metaphor of financial um, tenders, right? And from copper to silver, silver to gold, it has the same value in the sense like it represents the same mm, cost, meaning the same energy comes from it, but it's refined. It's in a more valuable state. And that's what we can do with these emotions, right? When that individual told me that I could change it from nervousness to excitement, right? One was negative and one was positive. One was destructive, one was constructive, right? At least more constructive. When I was able to take that excitement and direct it and appropriately place it, that was the next refinement in that, right? So there's levels to this, there's levels and there's growth to this. And thank God for that. Because that means we have a place to continue to mature too. We don't even necessarily ever arrive. We just continue to grow. We exchange our less ineffective energy for a more highly concentrated, effective form. Directed, well advised, purposefully placed energy. He goes on to the second paragraph here. Yet, even the crudest forms of effort are necessary at first, for without them to begin with, the higher forms could not be acquired. Right? So, we need to walk through these negative expressions of energy, right? Because then we learn how to harness them. Then we learn their true intention and purpose. Then we can be a part of it. Then we can use it. It's ours to engage the world with rather than us being the victim of it, right? If we only knew it as this constructive, powerful energy, we could be blindsided by misappropriating it. We have to have this crude implementation first so we can take that and refine it and refine it and refine it and make it into this beautiful piece of art that it is. He gives another metaphor. The child must crawl before it can walk. It must babble before it can talk. We need to learn what that tool is used for, right? We need to have that progression of growth and integration of speech, of movement. We're not born knowing it all. We're not like we don't come in present and aware to every use of the um, energies we've been given, to the strengths we've been given. Man begins in weakness and ends in strength. But from beginning to end, he advances by the efforts he makes, by the exertion he puts forth. It takes intentional effort to transmute these negative energies into positive, to take the anxiety, the nervousness, and turn it into excitement and purpose. It takes effort. So many people want to numb and sidestep their feelings and make them go away. It's our responsibility to take in those emotions, take in that energy, and repurpose it. Right? That's where creativity comes from. That's where drive and motivation comes from, is when we don't avoid these things, we embrace these things. And we take them and they mold us and we mold them. And we become stronger and more refined. So, but from beginning to the end, he advances by efforts he makes, by the exertion he puts forth. It's pretty powerful stuff right there. And then the last closing line, it's very poignant, very direct, it's very unquestioning, right? The root of success is in character. Your character will define your success, the longevity of your success, the quality of your success every time. Beautiful reading today. Absolutely beautiful reading today. Extremely grateful for everyone jumping on with me, and I'm looking forward to seeing where we go from here just to finish out June in the first half of the year. Again, I'm really excited about this. Thank y'all for accompanying me on this journey, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. Until next time, thanks.